guys, and welcome to this week. Apologize for not being here the last couple of weeks. If I could have been here, you know I would have been here. So this week I thought we'd really crank up the Wayback Machine and go all the way back to 1915 Copenhagen. And we're going to look at some stuff that's unusual for my collection. I don't have a lot of it. It's something that looks like this. So these little dry plate stereoscopic black and whites, that's what they look like in person. They're pretty beat up. I did a little bit of retouching. I adjusted as much as I can, but they are what they are. And I always think authenticity is the first priority, and then a certain cleanliness of the image is second. So, we're being real. These are Imperial Dry Plates from the Imperial Dry Plate Company of Cricklewood, London. Came in kind of a cute little box. I've got, that's what they look like. I'll show you the box here with the lid on. Something like this. So, definitely worth scouring your local antique malls and shops for something like this, because you might not realize that there is a stack of stereoscopic pictures inside of it. And these ones, although the film is from London, it looks like most of the pictures are from Copenhagen. There are a couple pictures that I can't identify where they are. It's just sort of too generic, the scenery. One of them is some kind of World Fair exhibition kind of thing, and I could not figure out. I figured that would give me a point of reference for what time these are from, but no such luck. The other thing that's going to be tricky, and everything's very experimental here, is that these are not your standard stereoscopic slides where the left eye corresponds to the left slide and your right eye corresponds to the right one. These are actually meant to be viewed through a cross-eyed viewer, and I don't even understand why that. I don't know why anyone thought that would be a good technique. But what you'll notice is that because the camera sort of is oriented this way, you have a lot more material on the margins, kind of in that space where the right eye can see but the left eye can't. And when you see them side by side and not through a viewer, you'll see what I mean. There's significant margin of photograph on either side that is missing. So I really don't know if these are going to look okay through the viewer. We'll check it out. If it's a total exercise in futility, hey, that's life. That's my life. And that's my life this Friday. So let's go take a look, see what these look like, and hopefully they're magnificent. They probably will be. I thought the logical place to start would be the harbor. It's hustly bustly. Looks like a nice little glimpse into everyday life in the mid-1910s. Again, I really am only guessing at that based on just some of the vehicles that you're going to see in a little bit later. It's tough being so starved of information on these, but the other sense, it just lets you sit back and meditate on what you're looking at. For example, three guys on a boat just relaxing. I'm sure they're very hardworking fellas, and I'm sure that's not a pleasure craft. They're not doing much at the moment. And here's another lovely scene, and this is actually the particular slide that identified it as Copenhagen. That statue still stands. It's quite majestic, but only half as majestic as these lovely women with their pointy hats. I really probably should do a little bit more research on these things, but let's just move on. There's a streetcar and some vehicles, and that certainly pinpoints it to the mid, roughly 1915. Guy on a bike, very typical Copenhagenite. Copenhagenite? Sure, yeah. And this one's quite active. I really love this picture. It looks like the fella's maybe struggling with his bike a little bit, passing vehicle. Policeman in the corner. Again, a nice glimpse into just everyday life. And always curious, why was this picture taken at this very moment? It's always a lovely thing to consider. And here is the Mystery World Fair. I'd love to get your feedback if anybody can identify when this was taken and where, because I went through the list of big expositions and could not match one to this stuff. So the struggle continues, and we will see you next week as always.